Good afternoon and welcome back to another video. How are we all doing? All good, I hope. So today I am super excited to announce that we've got another bike coming to the channel. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that we've already reviewed the Engwe Engine Pro. When Engwe got in touch and said they want to send me another bike, I was more than happy to accept their offer, especially as they wanted to send me this particular bike. If you're into your cafe style racing e-bikes, it's like the Super 73, then stick around, then hopefully you're going to enjoy what's inside this box. So this is the Engwe M20. Gotta be honest, I think it's probably one of the best looking e-bikes on the market right now. Let's open up the box, this thing built, and we'll take it out for a ride and see what it's all about. Let's get into it. Toolkit, I'm guessing, maybe a battery charger. One thing I've got to say about Engwe is they do know how to package a bike. Get out of it. I've literally picked the worst pair of scissors, so I know a quicker way. Cool, there we are. 5 minutes and a broken pair of scissors later, but we're ready to go. So all we've got to do now is install the front wheel. We've got a mud guard to put on as well, handlebars, stand and pedals, and yeah, we're good to go. Let's get these installed. So in order to get these bits put onto the bike, we just need to go through these boxes and see what we've got. So in here we've got the double headlight, and then next up in this box, cool, we've got some awesome little stickers, pedals to put on. In this box I'm guessing it would be the charger. Yeah. Chargers in there. The beauty of this bike, but I'll go through in a little bit more detail, is the fact that this actually comes with 2 batteries, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on. Instruction manual, and as always, something I really love about Engwe, it comes with everything you're going to need to get everything set up on the bike. Jump into it. So I'm going to start with the handlebars first. Let's get these in place and then we can get the headlights put on and then the front wheel. Next up, let's get the front wheel on. So we're getting there, wheels are on, handlebars are on, the stand is on, and it is starting to look absolutely awesome. This colour is unbelievable as well, it looks so nice. And with the tan seat as well, it just looks so nice. Right, let's get the lights on, get the pedals on, front mud guard, and let's get this thing out. So that is the bike all built. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the style of this bike? I think it looks epic. Such a sick looking bike. So it took around sort of 20 minutes to get everything installed on it. The batteries are all fully charged. Yeah, so far, what a machine. I love the colour choice as well. If you watch my videos, you'll know that I've got the Sur on, and I've got a black and white theme going on with this. So this is a perfect addition to the fleet. It does come in a couple of different colours as well, which I'll go into later on in the video. I think there's just one thing left to do, just to pump up the rear tyre because it is pretty flat at the moment. So get it pumped up. Let's take this out for a spin and I'll run through all the spec that this bike has to offer. If you like what you see so far, you could be interested in buying one. Stick around because I've got a discount code for you that's going to save you a ton of money if you're looking to buy one. So yeah, let's get this thing out for a ride. So in true British fashion, it has done nothing but rain for a week solid, so the bike has been built and just sat there waiting for me really to get out on a dry day and give the M20 a good test and review. So let's jump straight into it then. So I've been riding the bike around pretty much all day just to try and get a feel for it, get a better understanding so that I'm not misinforming you guys. And thus far, really impressed with it. For me, the #1 standout feature is its looks. As you can probably tell already, I am a huge fan of the aesthetics of this bike. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of the M20. So with an e-bike,
the two main ingredients that we want to know about is the motor and the battery. So let's start off with the motor. So the M20 is rocking a 750 watt hub motor. I believe this is pretty standard across the Engwe range, and it's punching out about 55 Newton meters of torque. And what that really means in layman terms is, if you're a bit like me with a dad bod, you're going to have absolutely no issues. You're going to have enough power to get you around absolutely fine. Now, Engwe claim that this can assist up hills of about a 10% gradient. The hill I'm going up at the moment, I believe, is about 17. I know it doesn't look it on the camera because we're using such a wide lens, but absolutely no issues getting up here whatsoever. So the motor for me is more than adequate. It's exactly what you want when you're purchasing an e-bike in this category. So the next thing in line, we're looking at the battery. So there's two particular models for the M20. You've got a single battery version and you've got a dual battery version. So this particular one, as you can see, is the dual battery. So the battery is a 48 volt, 13 amp hours. So your 48 volt is going to give you the power, and then the 13 amp hours is essentially going to give you the range. Now, the absolute beauty of the dual battery version is you can then double that, so you're getting 26 amp hours. So in basic layman terms means there's going to be no range anxiety. You're easily going to rock around sort of 50 to 60 miles with both batteries on full charge. Whilst we're talking about the batteries, they both also come with USB charging ports, which I think is just a really nice touch. So if you are looking to charge, you know, cameras or phones whilst you're out on a long ride, that will give you the ability to do so. They also come with battery indicators as well, so you don't have to rely on the main screen to see how much battery you've got left. It's also quite a nice feature that if you are prepping ready for a long ride, you don't have to plug everything in, switch all the bike on to see how much battery you've got. You can just have a quick check on top of the batteries. Just makes life a little bit easier. The absolute beauty with the dual battery version, the bike will seamlessly switch between the batteries depending on the amount of charge in them. So if one becomes flat, the bike will automatically just switch over to the other battery and you won't even know about it. So the bike comes with 2 keys per battery, so 4 in total. But the key is purely just to lock the battery to the bike. So you don't actually need a key to operate and ride the bike, which I found a little bit weird earlier on today. I actually nipped down to the shops on this just before I started filming. And with my other e-bikes, obviously you need a key to obviously start the bike. With this one, once I'd actually got to the shops, I locked the bike up out the front, and then that was it. Anybody could easily switch the bike on. Not obviously it's locked up, so you're not going to get very far, but if someone was to snip that lock, they then have full access to the bike. Now, if that was a major concern for you, the batteries aren't particularly big, so you could actually take them off the bike. They'd easily fit into a rucksack and take them with you. That way no one's going to be able to ride off on your bike. Obviously a little bit difficult if you've got 2 of them, but if you're just nipping to the shops and you know you're going to make that journey, then just putting 1 battery on the bike will be sufficient. You can then take that off when you get there, pop it in your bag, you're good to go. But yeah, batteries and motor so far, really impressed. So some of the other features on the bike, let's start from the top and work our way down. So starting at the handlebars, obviously we've got our gearing on the right hand side. Again, they've gone with the Shimano gearing, which I think is an absolute must. Shimano are one of the best in the world at what they do in terms of gearing, so it's great to see Engwe still using Shimano. We know it's reliable, we know it works, and again, value for money, you'll know you're getting decent quality products. Moving on to the other side of the handlebars, we've got our display. Now the display on the M20 is a little bit smaller than it is on the Engine Pro. I actually really like the smaller display, because what that does is it actually frees up a lot of the handlebar room. So if you did want to mount cameras like I do, or phone holders, speakers, anything like that, having that small display on that just leaves a lot more handlebar room for those accessories. The display itself, absolutely brilliant. Obviously it tells you all the information you're going to need, your speed, battery levels, power modes, trip computer, all the information you're going to need and more. It's also really bright, so yeah, huge fan of the display. Next to the display, we've then got your headlight switch. This is a really nice option as well, so we can have our daytime running lights on, which again, I am a huge fan of these twin lights on the front. I just think they look so smart. But I love the daytime running lights, and I love the fact that we can turn the main beams on and off. It's also got a flash function as well, so if cars are letting you out or you want to let someone out, you've also got that function as well. Again, lights are super bright. Staying on the theme of the lights, you've also got the rear light that comes on, and that does act as a brake light as well, which another feature that I really love, especially when you're riding on roads. It just gives you that little bit of added security, knowing that if you are coming to a stop, cars behind you know that as well, and you're not going to get rear-ended. Underneath your light button, you've got the infamous the infamous Engwe horn. Love an Engwe horn. Yeah, it's a horn, does exactly what it needs to do. So coming down from the handlebars, let's look at the suspension. So on the front of the M20, you've got a triple clamp style suspension, plenty of travel, really comfortable. fully adjustable, so you can change it to your style of riding, and it does seem like a massive upgrade compared to the Engine Pro, I must admit. However, whilst we are on the theme of suspension, the M20 is a full suspension e-bike. As I just mentioned, front suspension is fantastic. The rear suspension, on the other hand, I'm not a huge fan of. It is extremely stiff. I've been cruising around on this bike pretty much all day. If you are going to be using this bike for long commutes on the daily, your arse cheeks are going to know about it. It's not the most comfortable just because it is so stiff. Now, I have seen a lot of people online switching out the rear suspension for a softer coil spring suspension. It's not a bad shout, and I can see why people do it. But saying that, earlier today I did take this down to the beach, and the promenade was quite busy, so I actually went onto the stones for a little bit of off-road, and it handles off-road conditions really well. Now, this is partly to the fact that you've got the huge signature 20-inch rims with those massive 4-inch wide tyres that just literally eat anything you can throw at it. It is an absolute beast off-road, and I have to admit that rear suspension did actually come into its own. It did make the ride a lot more comfortable once you've got a bit of compression going through it. So from the suspension, we've mentioned the wheels, which I'm a huge fan of. Staying in the area of the wheels, we're then looking at the brakes. Now, I did notice when I was building this bike that it's great. We have got some lovely big disc brakes on the bike, but they are cable disc brakes and not hydraulic disc brakes. And I must admit, I was a little bit disappointed to see that, just purely because most of their other models, and especially the ones I've reviewed like the Engine Pro, come with a really good standout hydraulic disc brake. So I'm not entirely sure why they haven't put those onto the M20. Again, this is first world problems. I mean, the cable brakes on this bike are more than adequate. You know, we're still locking up the wheels. I just felt that some of the other models have the hydraulic disc, so I'm just surprised that they haven't put them on this particular model, especially as everything else they've done with this bike is just so good. So the last little bit's just to run through on the bike. Obviously on the display you've got your 5 modes. These are just based around your torque settings and your speed settings. So mode 1, slightly less torque, gets you up to about 10 miles an hour. Mode 2, 3, you're looking around sort of 15 to 16, and then up to mode 5 you're looking around sort of top speed of about 23 to 25 mile an hour. I'll be honest, I haven't really pushed this bike that much. I haven't had it that long. To be honest with you, it's not one of those bikes that you want to be thrashing around at sort of 30-35 mile an hour. It is a cruiser, a cafe style racer if you like that sort of thing. But the 23 to 25 is more than enough, let me tell you. But overall, I am a huge fan of the bike. I absolutely love the look of this thing. There's not really too much out there that looks like this. The only thing you could probably really put it close to would be the Super 73. But for me, when you're looking at those two bikes side by side, the Super 73, you're looking sort of 2,600 to sort of 2,800 pounds, which is so much money. When you look at the cost of an M20, you're talking 1,300 quid with a dual battery. So to me, I think there is only one clear winner. For the price, for value for money, for the looks, the style, they're almost incomparable. Just such good value for money. I'm just gutted that we're coming into winter now, because this would be the absolute perfect summer cruiser to take down the beach on a really nice summer's evening. Be the absolute dream. But yeah, unfortunately coming into winter now. So I'm going to finish the video there then, guys. Just want to say a massive thank you to Engwe for letting me test and review the M20. I absolutely love it. I think it's one of the best e-bikes out there, and especially for value for money and its looks. I don't think there's anything that's going to beat it. If you're like me and you love the bike and you're thinking about purchasing one or anything else in the Engwe range, then go and have a look at the link in the description, because that's going to give you a discount to save you a ton of money at checkout. Cheers, thank you. So massive thank you to Engwe. As always, a massive thank you to you guys for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. It hugely helps my channel. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button too. It's completely free. Next video coming up, we've got new suspension coming for the Sur-Ron, so stay tuned for that one. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss it, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.